All right, welcome to a new video for constant trading. Let's start off today's video saying that we'll be talking on Quantower and setting up its depth of market interface. Note that we are going to look into having an advantageous offer in relation to the price for the community. And know that the best way to not miss out on anything is to join our Discord, subscribe to the channel, and follow us on our social networks. Our links will be in the description. Note that we will also be creating future Quantower videos. And if you'd like to have any input into the direction of where our videos go, please comment in the videos and activate the bell to know when we release said videos. For those unaware, you can go to quantower.com in order to download the platform. And they'll allow you a demo version of it. The other way, of course, is if you go into the connections and you sign up with AMP, clicking that link sets you up in this section, placing your name, email. You'll get as well a demo feed to use alongside your Quantower. And if so, choose, it's not too hard to open up an account. Usually it's about $100 deposit. And you go from there. Bringing up the AMP platform right now for Quantower. This is your control bar. I'm currently connected into the AMP CQG feed. We'll start by going into the menu here. And like I said before, we're looking into doing our market depth. But prior to that, I will set up a trading simulator with the symbol for ES. All right, our simulator is active. Let's set to the side. Open up our DOM. And perfect. So by default, this is the DOM surface you'll end up with. Unusual to like Jigsaw, you have separate buy and sell columns. So your orders get placed from your bid side. You'll have control of them on the SPY column. If you place orders on your ask column, you'll control them through your sell column. Let's get into the features for it. Starting from the top, you can create a custom title. This is useful if you want to be able to show at a glance what market you have. I'll place in this one the S&P 500. Showing the change here. The current refresh rate set at 100. I tend to prefer a refresh rate on most platforms to about 40 to 50. So let's 40 for this one. A feature we'll get more into with NQ and such, or more quicker, more thinner markets, is you can set up a custom tick size so that instead of having increments of every quarter, you have increments of a single dollar, so that it condenses not only just the price, but also the depth. Taking that off, we can see how it uncondenses, and we get to the way the regular market works. You can edit the amount of digits shown. That removes a digit, moving 2 digits, 3 digits, 4 digits, 5 digits. We can remain it back to the regular amount or preferred, knowing that we won't be passing 4.3K the rest of the day. We can just set it down to removing 2 digits. Custom sessions are more useful when it comes into using the volume profiles. But if we made a session for just the US Open, and I'm on Eastern Standard Time, I prefer to see that this ends around 4 p.m. Apply our changes. You can edit your fonts. I tend to prefer a font closer towards Microsoft Yahoo. Prefer having bold, so it's more visible to me. The grid could be changed to having no grids. Grids only vertically, grids horizontally. We're having them both. The color shown regarding grids, this one, let's make it more black. Text is fine. The background, I would prefer it a more solarized color, but for now, this is fine. Each individual text can be different from what you have set as the default font style. But for the purpose of this, I would not look into all that. You can remove these things, showing the totals of your average positions, your quantities, gross profits, as well as the depth total of the shown limit of the shown orders at the bottom. Removing that removes the totals in those. Our table header. Removing table header also doesn't allow you to drag around the different columns. So we'll keep that on for now as we go through the rest of this. You can have more limit orders shown by increasing this number, but doing so might also slow down your system if you are not on a powerful computer to handle all that extra depth shown. We'll limit it down to 20. We'll get to more of these ones as we open up the different columns. But doing so with this has so that your executed market orders will reset at a certain second time frame. And you can also change it either by time or by ticks. If you like have a volume profile showing certain calculations on a filtered basis, this will allow you to do so. It tends to be advantageous to not have an automatic centering, but if you like to do so, this will have it so that it centers after it passes a certain amount of ticks, and this tries best to keep the prices in view as it moves around. My favorite thing in Quantower is the day map that shows you the range of the day and where you're located within it. Knowing that our highest was 4376 and our lowest was 4227.50, we know that we're at the high end of the range. This allows you to have a bar up here that shows you the date time, our spread, the percentage change of the day since the open, the price that we opened at, our high or low, our previous close, and the volume currently. Removing that removes that information shown. We'll keep it on. This is a feature that would probably not be most used, as it seems to be able to use limit orders, or you can have it so it uses stop orders instead. Going into our columns, we have our buy column. Clicking on the visible tick removes it or place it back in. Wherever you have it placed before, we'll also bring it back to that exact same spot. Let's move both these columns to the side. You can customize the back color if you want it to be different by ticking this on and changing the colors. And here, the coloring of how your orders show up can be defined in this. Same with the sell side one. Custom coloring or not. And the color can be changed in this regarding how the sell orders look like. Our bids column shows our limit orders shown in the depth. For the buy side, we'll keep the font the same. We can rearrange the text alignment so that we can have it more centered. The left side, or close to the prices. We can change the back color of this as well. This one I also keep going to say it for blue or not. The histogram by default sets as a gradient and histogram, or you can have a gradient as just blocks. The histogram single colored. We'll put it back for now to the gradient. Our alignment can be changed from left to right. And text can be changed as well if you want it to have brighter text. You can highlight values. Let's choose the highest value right now being our 80. And it gets highlighted with the yellow. We wanted to highlight with blue, so we know where large limit orders are resting. We change this down. We're highlighting total values. And this has more to do with having this open. So if you note that there's a high amount of bids stacked on one side, it will highlight that for you in yellow. Or if you know that there's just a slightly less amount, you can stack it that way. So let's change closer to 1,000. And we have this one at 500, we'll say. So we know at this moment, there's just a relative to our settings, a high amount stacked in here. Though clearly this one has more stacked based on the difference between those two. The same can be said, of course, for ask side. And then moving on into our pricing column, we can have it set different fonts, different sizing. So we had a different font for this one. Let's say back to our Microsoft AI, but we want different sizing. You can do so in here. If not, you just keep it at general. The alignment of the text. If you want different coloring for that, based differently from the basic. We have the best bid and best ask highlighted. If you don't like those, you can do so like this. The spread is more important when it comes to more thinner products. The spread between this is just 1 ticks. So we can go back to that. We're using something like NQ. Our marked prices are ones we can use by right-clicking onto the column and marking them. They'll come up as yellow, with text being black. This could be changed in here. We want it to be orange with white text. The last current pricing, either single colored by the bid green or by the ask reds. It's gonna be colored in here. Or the last change, whether it ticks up or down. Keeping it single color for now. That style of the border can be changed with this. We'll change to like a yellow if you want a brighter thing. And you can also customize what that last text and backing looks like. If you want it to have a brighter text, so that it's more visible. Going back into our bid asks, those can be changed as well, the border styles and the custom backing. Removing the brackets with that tick. We get into a position. This is the thickness of the line marking that price. And the coloring depending on that. Removing that removes that where you'd positioned was, which is not usually advisable. You want to know where you entered into a trade. Showing our daily highs and lows on the ladder. just based on a marking. We change the coloring of the text and backing of that. If I wanted more of a red text showing that this could be a resistance, I wanted this more of a green text showing it could be a support. A couple columns that are different compared to other platforms. We have this liquidity changing column. This shows you, similar to how other platforms have a delta column or a pulling and stacking column, this shows a footprint styled cumulative amount of where these prices would come in and out. You can change the colors for the positives and the negatives. You want a custom coloring for the text, that's usually whites. If you wanted it to be black to hide it, and the backing of the whole column. Our yellow is numbers that are added on, red is being numbers that are being removed. We'll remove this column for now. Well, we'll keep it actually. Number of changes. The amount of changes that occurred. So even though, let's say 100 lots were removed, only one change occurred. And this is based on these cumulative amounts shown. As of course, custom coloring, if you wanted to have whites and a gray background. Cumulative changes. You have comments. If you wanted to put down certain levels, you said this level was a high volume area. The alignment of the text, colors for the text, and the backing of the column. Our last trade size is the LTQ, the last traded quantity that occurred. You'd have it be either cumulative or only showing the last exact price. Having it cumulative is useful when you want to see when prices are being traded into over a certain period of time. We can catch like accumulation of absorption or a fight going on. Be a whole backing color difference for this whole column. The alignment of your text. If you wanted this to be a bolder and larger view. These are the ones number that I tend to not be able to keep focus on of how small it tends to be overall in most platforms, but being able to customize certain text per each column is useful in in Quantower over you could see in Jigsaw or other platforms. The color of ticking or the color of it staying within the same price as it goes back and forth. This is an inside column showing what happens only on the bid side. And this one, of course, is only on the ask side. The way that Quantower has it set is that it has a gradient for the largest sizes occurring on just the ask column and a gradient on larger sizes just occurring on the bid column. These depend regarding what you had set on the refresh for how it resets on. We have a cumulative size column. This one is the cumulative size of how these prices tend to stack together. And those colors can be changed in here, how the text aligns. Our imbalance column, which has been active this whole time, is the imbalance of our bids and asks, text alignment. You can highlight values. Let's do 30. Oh, you got mother. 30. It seems to be too low. We set it up for 50, 80, 90, 100. The total value at the bottom. You can highlight it if you want to know if there's large differencing. Or there's a low difference. Our profit and loss column to show when we are either losing or gaining in a trade. The kind of a custom back coloring, how it gets centered. The text when you are in profits, the text when you are, lost. And if you're actively in a loss or actively in a profit. We have our profile columns, and you get up to 3 with them to mess with. So if we want the first one to be the total volume for our day. We have it set on the right side. This is the cumulative volume of this current session. Custom back coloring. How the text aligns. And since this is currently just volume data type, we can change the text relative to that. And what the profile looks like colored. You can adjust for the opacity if you don't want it to take up so much of the coloring. So it's easier to see the text. Or if you want to hide the text as well, so it's not as bright for your eyes. Show our point of control. Show the value area. Generally, you want to keep it around 70%, or if you want to be more exacting, you can be 68.2%. But most people just tend to round it up for 70. If you want a different text for our point of control, different coloring, different text. You can have set up a delta styled profile of today or of yesterday, allowing it to change up. This allows you to look to see where there might have been people trapped from yesterday, or if you want to see people that might have been trapped today, of the week, of the month. Takes a bit of time for it to all load up. But you can change the coloring between what delta positive looks like, what delta negative could look like. Well, that loads, we're going to the next profile. We can make a profile on a filter. And that was current based on what you adjusted in here. We wanted to see only a volume profile of trades that occurred with possibly 20 lots. And whatever the point of control and value area is relative to that size. This is easier to track how maybe the bigger players might be spread about on today. Position bar, this one here, we can remove it or show it, showing when we have our average price, our quantities, our profits, and our liquidation prices if we so had. you can set up the numbers shown in here by editing them in the order entry. If you want it to be on just odd numbers shown, there's a slim mode, so it doesn't take up as much space and you can still access a few of the buttons. You want to know labels. Additional order parameters. If you want to change up from there, customized comments. You want to edit how these get shown if you don't want to use all these buttons. Like I don't really need to know my account anymore. Cancel stops, limits, sells, buys. I want to cancel all orders. No reason for break even. No reason for reverse. Oh, very good. Our close position. We need our flatten. Don't need market. Don't need bid. Don't need ask. You can create hotkeys. If I wanted to center the DOM either from space like a TT, or if I wanted to have one, that's where my hands are resting for myself. One to control our order sizing. I can do it with Control Q. I'll have this one as 2. These are trading ones, which I don't just need X. Cancel all my orders, change to Q. I'll remove these buttons to not have any missed clicks. This is the Quantower YouTube channel in case you need to look into more further videos on their channel, but we'll be making our own as well. If you enjoy this template you've created, all of this one's a mess, you can save your templates from this little sandwich icon, little hamburger. Save as your template, or you can save as your default. We'll save as a template. We'll call it the SP 500. Save that. And so that now, if we were to open up a DOM for the NQ, well, we have to first make it in our simulator. Stopping that, adding another symbol. NQ, start it again. All right, now that we have that, we can open up our NQ. And open up our templates. Of course, we don't want to consider S&P. Call it the Nasdaq. A more refined template by Constant himself will be found within our Discord. But now that we have our NQ up, we can show that feature regarding how Quantower can let you condense your prices together, which helps to view things like this by using custom tick size set to 1 so that it's 4 ticks put together on the certain price. Let's increase the amount of depth shown. You can screenshot as you look to see certain order flow events for review later. You don't have it always on top. What you can do as well is if you had charts linked, you can link them off of coloring. One of the main features I love about Quantower is you can create a bind. If you liked having your DOMs together and you want to move them together as well, you create a bind, select them both, you create your new bind, and these get connected together so you can move them as one unit. The uses of that is if you make several workspaces of, say, one's for equities, one's for just bonds, and one's for currencies, moving them around your monitors off a bind allows you to do so. And you can unbind them. like so. You can collapse your spread. This is more so with NQ. Collapsing the spread. Removing your order entry screen off of this. You can lock your trading so you don't misclick. And this is for your keyboard shortcuts. And that is a basic rundown of what the Quantower DOM tends to offer. The original Quantower, if you purchase it, allows you to use multiple connections, by the way, in case you have a CQG feed, but you also want to execute the Rhythmic. That is how you would do so. Once again, we will look to have affiliate links provided. And if you want to have a more prettier Quantower template from Constant himself, that will be pinned in our Discord. You click it to your Quantower roles, pinned messages, you click download, and in a future video, we can show regarding how those templates are found, but usually pause.
Yes.
Where's the template? Just a quick little thing as well before we finish the video is that in order to place your templates, you want to go into where you've downloaded your Quantower. In this case, I have it on a separate drive. When you're inside your Quantower folder, you go towards your settings, templates. You'll find I currently have the constant trade template, but when you get one from the Discord, you place it into this folder, reset your platform, and when you have it up again, it should show up in your templates section. Clicking on constant trades, we get Constant's personal template regarding trading the equity futures. Look how lovely he set it up for us. While we're here, we're going to time and sell settings. There's not too many, but we have our view of our fonts, our line spacings, when more compact, normal, or wider. Our grid options, coloring, the limits, coloring scheme based on aggressor. Right now, the columns are auto-sized. Look over here. You can aggregate your trades. If we'll place it for, say, 50 milliseconds. You can auto sort those orders out for you. Showing the price format by a certain amount of digits. Remove the table headers or show the table headers. In my case, I tend to prefer it more cleanly by removing them, as well as removing the toolbar. Since I know at this point it's going to be the ES ladder. Time and sales. We can do this as well. S&P 500. The column for having time. In this case, we have it off, but it had been on. You can change the fonts, the text of that header, if you're so pleased. This shows the last trades that occurred. The size that it occurred with, our aggressor, whether it became a buy or sell, trades that happened for the bids, for the asks, the size on the ask at that moment, the size on the bid of that moment that those trades went through. the direction we ticked, whether we ticked up or down. If the bid ticked up or down, if the ask ticked up or down. This isn't applicable because this isn't a stocks. These will show as well only for stocks. Trade ID buyers and seller named relative to that stock. Once again, you can find this within our Discord channel. I'm going to bring that up for you. You will find it within the Quantower Discord room. So when you find yourself in the landing zone, you'll be greeted by one of us. Make sure to choose your roles. This will show the exchange platforms. Click onto the Quantower platform. This will allow for you to see. You'll find it here, our constant trade XML file. I will go into that folder shown previously. Thanks again for watching. Please sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Definitely comment on the future direction of the rest of our Quantower videos. Have a good rest of your day.